2025 is the year of the ARC, specifically 6mm ARC, and here's a few reasons why. So a quick recap of 6mm ARC. Compared to the 5.56, this is 6mm ARC. It uses the same size magazine, yet it uses a much more ballistically efficient 6mm bullet. Now, Hornady released this back in 2020. It was originally designed for a super cool unit that wanted basically to get a large frame AR performance in a small frame AR-15, right? Something smaller, lighter, but having the ballistics and capability to reach out further than 5.56. Now, while there have been a lot of attempts at this in the past, Hornady got 6mm ARC semi-spec'd so that it was standardized across the board. And when it first came out, there were a few big names that were behind it, like Proof Research. So I thought, okay, this is going to take off. This is going to go really, really well, because this has been something that I had been trying to chase in terms of performance in that smaller package. Now the problem was 2020, we had some sweet riots, we had COVID happen, so everyone was trying to stock up on 5.56. Manufacturers couldn't keep this in stock. Do you remember when ammo prices went insane? I had built an 18-inch 6mm ARC with a proof barrel, and I was shooting 6 ARC initially, and I loved it. It was insane, and then the prices went from like $1 per round to $4 a round. So I scratched that project, and I went back to 308. I went back to shooting 308 for a while, because that's really all you could get at an affordable price. Prices on everything were crazy. Even 6.5 Creedmoor, I went from shooting 75 cents a round with Hornady's American Gunner to it being $4 per round for anything, if you could even find it. Another issue people were having with 6 ARC were magazines, okay? So this is a Durmag, this is the 6.5 Grendel magazines that they were making, and you could use a 6.5 Grendel mags, they just look weird, right? People don't like that. What does this look like in a gun? Like what are you even doing with that? You know what I mean? It just doesn't look good. Magazines were an issue. Some were reliable, some weren't. I had used Duramags with no issues. So this is a Durmag. I've had buddies who ran Duramags, no real issues. Again, just a little bit awkward looking, and to get a 30 round magazine was kind of difficult. But people were having issues just with magazines and parts, accessories. Basically, there weren't a lot of great options for 6 ARC, and companies were a little bit hesitant to jump into this brand new cartridge when people weren't really adopting it that quickly. Some people were, and there were, some videos on YouTube, and I saw people shooting it, but it wasn't widely adopted because the issue was people couldn't even find 5.56, right? People were having an issue of, hey, I want to go shoot. I'm not trying to revamp my gun, and all you need is a different bolt and a barrel, right, and a magazine, and you have crazy increase in performance. I'll get that in a different video. But people weren't ready to adopt this new cartridge, and it took a few years. Let's fast forward now to 2024. Nowadays, ammo prices have come down from that craziness. Right now, you can find 6.5 Creedmoor now. You can find 6 ARC reasonably priced. You can even find cooler looking magazines like the Geissele mags. They do run between $80 to $100, $125. So if you can find that, fantastic. You're going to pay a hefty price for it, which is kind of ridiculous. But it's a steel mag, cool, $100. But what we did see in 2024 was a pickup in the entire gun industry surrounding the 6mm ARC and new offerings in 6mm ARC. So that's pretty cool, because in the last couple of years, you had companies like Noveske, Geissele, Savage, Ruger, all adopting and building guns in 6mm ARC, chambering them in 6mm ARC, so you had them in even bolt guns. Because one of the advantages of the 6 ARC is that it is a lower pressure round, so the barrel life is a lot better than, say, a 6.5 Creedmoor or a 6 Creedmoor. That's one of the benefits of the 6 ARC. Again, I'll do a whole video on why 6 ARC is awesome. But we have support. We finally have support for this round. Now, 2025, new year, new you, and new 6 ARC. What I mean is, a lot more companies are offering 6 ARC options. Recently, I just saw the PSA is offering their Saber line. They're going to have a 14.5 pin and welded 6 ARC. That's pretty sick. And what they're also going to do is they're offering in the new iCar, which basically The cool benefit of 6-ARC was that you don't have to change anything. You can use an entire gun, same lower, same upper. Surefire came out with the ICAR lower, which is an intermediate combat assault rifle lower. And using a wider magazine, which Magpul is now introducing the new ICAR magazines for 6-ARC or any ARC, right? So you have 338 ARC, 6-ARC. You could use the same lower and the same mags, and now you have more of a mag, like you have a little bit wider of a magazine. It's like a regular PMag, but it holds 25 rounds and it's a little bit wider. Now, because of that, the lower on those specific lowers will be wide, the magazine well will be wider. So it wouldn't be cross compatible with a 5.56 rifle, but you'd still have the same small frame AR with the capabilities and increased reliability, I think, and function with a 6-ARC, which is awesome. It's insane. 6-ARC or 338 ARC, right? Depends on what you want to use. You can switch your upper. You'd have a subsonic 338, shorty, swap on the 14.5 or whatever length you want to do for the 6-ARC upper, and now you can reach out far and get solid performance at distance. So a lot of cool new things coming out, especially for the 6-ARC, and I see now that PSA, now that they are supporting the rifle in the 6-ARC, they always say if we build a gun, if we make a gun, we're going to support it with the ammo as well. So if AAC starts making 6-ARC ammo, that'd be sick, because that means that now this niche, right, kind of round, which is not niche, it's a very awesome round. I think it's the best round ever designed for the AR-15. Now it's going to be supported not only through new guns, magazines, but also the supply of ammo. And that was an issue that we had before. So if we have a company like PSA, and you can shit on PSA all you want, right? They make some cool, innovative stuff, and their ammo is not bad. The AAC ammo I've shot, accurate stuff. If they can make a solid 6-ARC ammo, I think you're going to see 6-ARC blow up, right? This is the year for 6-ARC. I think it's going to blow up. They're going to be making 338 ARC and 6-ARC. This cartridge you're going to see a lot more, and you should. It's a great round. If you haven't looked at it yet, now's the time to start looking into it. You'll want to decide what you want to go with, whether it's a regular AR-15 mil-spec lower, right? That takes either Geissele mags or the Duramags, or you'll go with an ICAR lower. So it would be a complete new lower. You'd want to be buying a complete gun at that point. I would. Then you'd have the ability to use the Magpul PMag ICAR mags. Up to you really, right? Differences is you'll have the ability just to have larger magazines that fit properly into plate carriers. The straighter shaped PMags will work better for that. You can get the Geissele straight mags for the regular AR-15 mil-spec lower. They're just hard to find sometimes and crazy expensive. But you're gonna have a lot of new options to 2025. So if you've been on the edge, sitting on the fence of, I don't really know if I wanna get the 6-ARC yet, now is kind of the time to start looking into it. Start saving up for a build, because it's coming. It's coming, and it's gonna be well supported. So it's really, really cool. Really excited for that this year.